If you are interested in a gated community in Destin, Florida, this is the video for you. Let's get into it.
We're going to give you some overviews of our 3 top favorite residential neighborhoods and also our top 2 condo neighborhoods. Of course, all of them gated and all of them special in their individual ways.
Ooh, and we kind of have a bonus too in one of the residential neighborhoods. Let's go ahead and start with Regatta Bay. If you're looking to purchase, as of the time of shooting this video, you're looking at about $1 million to about $6.5 million in order to purchase in here. Now, you are going to find properties on either side of that price point, just depending on when you are actively looking for a property.
If you're listening to these numbers and you're like, wow, it's kind of a big difference between 1 and 6.5 million. Well, you're right. There are obviously different styles of homes here in Regatta Bay. You're going to have some, smaller residential families that are still, right in the middle of everything, have access to everything that all the other Regatta homes have. And then you're going to have some larger homes that have a whole lot more square footage, a whole lot more acreage, and maybe sitting right on the bay. And those are obviously going to come at a premium.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to look at my notes for all of the amenities going on here at Regatta Bay. So we've got a community room. It's obviously a gated community, hence, part of the video. It's got golf, and the golf course, by the way, is amazing at Regatta Bay. I'll just leave that there. Pickleball, playgrounds, pool, tennis. It's waterfront. You've got options to fish, a boat launch, marina, exercise room, game room, and I think I already said playgrounds, but it's on there twice, so I'm going to say it again.
So much room for activities. But wait a minute, you're like the golfer of the two of us, and you're not going to give them any more information about golfing at Regatta Bay? Come on, I know it's one of your favorite courses.
All right, Regatta Bay is gorgeous. In fact, it was rated as the number one favorite golf course in Northwest Florida. And Golf Digest actually rated it as one of the best courses to play in North America.
That's a big area. It's pretty...
Yeah, very big area. So it's a 72 par hole golf course. It is a total of 6,900 yards. So, not the biggest, but not the smallest either. Pretty good size. And it also has a 1,200 square foot putting bunker with even video analysis for you so you can get a little bit better. And of course, they always have golf cart girls there for drinks in case you happen to drink while you play golf or need a soda.
Something to keep in mind is that this golf course is private, but also public. So you can gain access to it as, a public person if you go and pay for it, essentially. And so you don't have to live there to gain access, which is pretty awesome. It also helps bring in some funds to the subdivision itself. Another thing they have is the clubhouse and their restaurant, The Grill, which is amazing. It's right there. You can see both the water and the golf course from their outside deck area, and you can rent out the space for special events. So very picturesque, very beautiful, wonderful thing to just have access to. If you've never been to Regatta Bay and you're curious, where is this part of Destin? Then you're going to be north of 98 and just to the east of the Mid-Bay Bridge. The Mid-Bay Bridge is going to be that north-south bridge that connects Destin to Niceville. So you're just on the right-hand side of that little corner area, if you will. It's also the neighborhood that kind of surrounds the Destin Commons. So if you've been to our area and maybe you were trying to avoid traffic or you wanted to go shopping, then you're probably familiar with Destin Commons. And it's just the area just kind of surrounding that, if you will. Something to keep in mind about Regatta Bay if you're considering purchasing for investment reasons is there are no short-term rentals allowed. This is, kind of a blessing and a curse. It means that things are going to kind of stay more pristine for a longer period of time. They're not going to be as difficult to keep up. However, you're probably not going to make, any kind of large profit if that was your goal with, an investment property. You can obviously do long-term rentals if you wanted to, but short-term rentals aren't going to be a thing here in Regatta Bay.
Now, Regatta Bay itself is about 500 homes, give or take. We weren't able to get a completely accurate count, but just based on the aerial, that's about how many I think it would be. Now, what we love about Regatta Bay in general is first all the walking trails and everything that they have. It is pristine out here, beautiful. Obviously, you're hearing the price point, so you already kind of know what to expect, and they do not disappoint. Not only is the golf course very pristine, but they take that same level of care for the entire neighborhood.
So talking about, how there's essentially less traffic going through Regatta Bay, and maintaining that pristine look, even though, tourism is happening literally right outside the gate. Something that's kind of beneficial is that, you have everything that you need right there. The Destin Commons is right there. You've got the grill right there. So you could basically just kind of survive within Regatta Bay without going anywhere. You have your necessities, you have your entertainment, you have your security, like everything's there. So for those of you that are able to remotely work, so maybe you've got an office in the house and you just want to stay right there and not deal with any of the traffic or the partying or any of that, you could do that pretty comfortably here at Regatta Bay. Much like we talked about the different prices within Regatta Bay, so are the HOA fees a bit different within Regatta Bay. So we've seen them as low as, say, $700 semi-annually with $150 new buyer fee versus all the way up to $1,300 every quarter with a $2,000 new buyer fee. The difference between those is one of those is going to be either quarterly, monthly, semi-annually, annually, and then the new buyer fee is just a one-time fee that you pay whenever you purchase into the HOA the first time. That's going to be required for everyone who purchases in. It's not going to be a yearly thing. It's just a one-time.
And that covers your grounds, your access to everything inside of the community, and just the overall maintenance of everything. Now, before we go on too much further with our next 4 neighborhoods that we're going to get into, and trust me, you do not want to miss the last one, by the way. There's some extra bonuses with that. But we are real estate agents first. So if you are thinking about moving to this area, all of our contact information will jump up on the screen. You can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, what have you. Or, of course, just contact us directly. Throw us a paper note, a paper plane. I don't care. Just get a hold of us if you need it, and we will be here whenever you are ready.
So call me, maybe.
Why would they call you maybe? Your name's AJ.
Shoot. So call me AJ. We would like to thank all of our returning viewers, our subscribers, and of course, if you're new to the channel, then please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you get notified every time we do another video. We are doing them everywhere from Pensacola to Panama City Beach. So if you're at all interested in our area, you're not going to want to miss out on the information that we provide. And we're kind of funny sometimes.
Funny looking. Now let's jump to the south side of 98 to a condo complex that you don't want to miss, Sandpiper Cove. For anybody that's been to Destin before, I'm sure you've been in this area. Maybe if you were visiting the restaurant called Louisiana, I can never say this, I'm going to butcher it, Louisiana Lignap. Ligna, how do you say it? Yeah, I was not even kind of close. So Sandpiper Cove is a great condo complex right here in South Destin. It's actually located right when you move on to, can't talk. It's actually located right as you turn onto Holiday Island. The really cool thing about Sandpiper Cove, before we get into some of the other details, is that it's got canal access. So if you're looking for boat access, it's not in big open water. And then, of course, it's got 1,100 feet of beachfront access as well. So you've got both accesses. Now, the prices here in Sandpiper Cove are going to range anywhere from about $240,000 all the way to about $750,000. Now, that being said, some of them can get more expensive. Some of them can be cheaper. But just keep in mind the size of the unit that you're purchasing and the location on property is going to play a really big role in the price.
Like you said, the location is a big deal. This subdivision is 43 acres. So
huge.
There's a lot of room for, price wiggling. And also you've got studios up to, larger condos, and you've got different views. Maybe you've got a pool view, maybe you've got a golf view, because there are quite a few amenities located right here. One of my favorites being the umbrella service that you can get on the beach, because I don't want to lug that stuff around. Especially at the end of the day, if you spend a whole day out on the beach, you're like, okay, now I'm exhausted and I don't want to carry this stuff back. You can just, plan for that accordingly, call ahead, and they'll set your chair and umbrellas up so that you don't have to deal with any of it. And
you've got a par 3 course here. So those of you guys that like golfing but don't necessarily want to be on an official golf course, this is a par 3 course. So take your pitch and wedge and your putter. That's really all you need here. I don't think it's not big enough for any irons or anything like that, depending on how you hit, maybe some of the kiddos or something. But grab those 2 clubs, go out there and have some fun. And it is only 9 holes, so you can just do this on a daily basis if you wanted to.
I don't know what the majority of that means, but I'm excited for all of you that enjoy golfing, because it is there for you. Something I do know about, though, are swimming pools and hot tubs. And there are 5 swimming pools and 3 hot tubs to choose from. So if, you're like Goldilocks and you're like, this one isn't quite right, this one isn't quite right, I'm going to go try this one. You've got a few options there. And you can also go and play tennis. I haven't done that since I was like a teenager, but I hear, grown people still do that and are really good at it. I probably wouldn't be anymore, but I probably enjoy watching folks play tennis in real life. So if that's your thing, then you've got that here too.
And of course, if you don't want to leave the property, you have 2 different options for food. So you've got Louisiana
Lagniappe.
Thank you. Louisiana Lagniappe. And then you've got a bar and grill just on the south side. What is the name of that again?
Rick's.
Rick's Bar and Grill. Yeah. So it's right on the water. So you can, whenever you're out on the beach, you're playing around, you're throwing a football around, whatever, you get hungry, you can come on in, grab some, it's bar type food. You're not going to get anything too fancy here. They do have salads and stuff if that's, you're looking for something light. But a lot of it's just like fried fish, fried foods, chicken wings, chicken fingers, stuff like that. But great little place to stop for a snack when you're out at the beach all day.
Also means you don't have to carry as much out there. And if you're worried about leaving your stuff out there, if you already, partook in the whole having someone set up your beach chairs and umbrella, it's got your name on it and everything. So you don't have to worry about, losing your spot and wondering, oh, which one of these umbrellas is mine? Because they all look the same, or maybe it blew away. You don't have to worry about it. So it's all really super convenient. Maybe you didn't bring enough water for you and the kiddos. You can just walk back up there. Oh, and there are restroom facilities. I don't know about anyone else, but for me, that's a big deal. I like to be able to walk back up and use the restroom very quickly and then go right back out. I don't want to hear any comments from anyone who doesn't think that that's a necessity.
Now, Sandpiper Cove also has a boat slip and launch that you can rent out. So if you're wanting to get some water activities done that way, you definitely can.
These units also rent out very, very well, whether it's a studio or a multi-bedroom unit with all the amenities and the very close proximity to the private beach. It's just a no-brainer. If you see one of these pop up and you're interested in an investment property, just buy it. They're wonderful, and you will use it as well, whether you're a local or if you live somewhere far away, if only for, once again, that super close proximity and the ease of just having everything done for you so you can feel like, it's like true resort living, essentially.
Yeah, in fact, we just had a client sell a property in Sandpiper Cove and call us, 6 or 8 months later to buy another one because they were like, we miss it so much. We want another one. We want something bigger this time. So definitely a very, highly sought after property in general.
Now, the HOA is going to be about $1,280 to $2,580 per quarter. If you're interested in one of these units, obviously those numbers are going to differ according to the size and location of the unit. And this is going to cover pretty much access to all the amenities and the majority of your utilities, which is really nice. Really, the only one that you're left with is your electric bill. So that's also kind of nice when you look at these HOA fees and you're like, man, that's a lot, but they're actually taking quite a bit off of your hands. So it ends up almost being kind of a wash. You get a lot more than you give.
Now, the next one on our list is Henderson Cottages, which is such a cool little neighborhood. It is a brand new subdivision, so the pricing on these are pretty stable right now, sitting at $2.6 to about $3 million for a nice little cottage.
Now, when he says nice little cottage, when you hear $2.6 million, I don't think anyone's thinking it's going to be little, right? And they're not. These things are beautiful. I mean, the plans that they have for these, they're all going to have garages. They're all going to be basically 3 levels, with the garage being on the first level. And then you've got 2, living areas above that. They're all going to have balconies. And for the most part, at least some kind of water view. They're all going to have 10-foot ceilings, which is so nice. I don't know. I just feel like I can breathe better when I have tall ceilings. There's just so much more room for creativity.
I figured everything felt tall for you.
Oh, I hate you. But what's really cool about Henderson Cottages is that it's right there next to the Henderson State Beach. And so you've got resort living right there. You're just mere steps from the beach and you've got all the amenities of a resort. You can even dine in. It's like living in a hotel, but it's a house and extremely comfortable. And you can short-term rent these units as well. They have it in the plan so that you're able to short-term rent them out or live there full-time. There's plenty of parking. There's a lazy river and a huge pool and a beautiful green area for you and your family to hang out, have some picnics. So really everything everything that you need is right there, maybe minus a golf course because it's not that big of an area, but with everything else, and maybe you're like me and you don't golf, and so you're like, that's not a big deal to me.
I mean, it's got a lazy river, so like, you know, pick your poison.
Give and take.
And there are two more amenities at Henderson Cottages I have to mention. A coffee shop, an on-site coffee shop, and ice cream shop. Those of you guys that have vacationed with kids, I am confident you have spent some time at a ice cream shop getting the kids some ice cream. So just wanted to mention that. They also have an on-site rental management company as well, so you don't even have to leave and go outside of the community to have somebody manage your condo for you, your cottage for you.
Yes. And they have 24-hour maintenance as well. So let's say that you bought it as a second home and you rent it out the rest of the time and something goes wrong while you're not there because, you know, that's when things go wrong, is when it's the most inconvenient. They already have someone ready to go, 24-hour access, maintenance. So let's say a toilet overflows or something and the tenants can't, you know, get it figured out and you got to send someone out there right now. You don't even have to wake up, get out of your bed, nothing. The management team is going to handle it for you and just let you know that, hey, there was an issue and we resolved it. Amazing.
Now, before we get into my favorite neighborhood, we need to talk about Gulf Terrace first. For those of y'all that are looking for a really strong rental for a good price, Gulf Terrace is for you. Now, you can jump into these condos for a mere $180,000 to about $330,000 as of the time of shooting this video.
So over at Gulf Terrace, you're going to have 216 units, and it's on the north side of 98 with Henderson Beach just kind of to the southeast, if you will. Something that we really like about these units is that regardless of the fact that they're north of 98, you can still short-term rent these units. The majority of Destin is not going to allow you to short-term rent anything above 98, so these units got grandfathered in. Now, I will say they're not my favorite when it comes to aesthetics, but they're very well insulated against 98 and all the traffic that comes with that and everything that comes with the, you know, touristy traffic to the south side of 98 as well. So they're pretty quiet units. You could either live there or short-term rent them out very comfortably.
Now, Gulf Terrace has 3 different pools, 2 of which have gazebos there, so you've got a little bit of shade if needed. They have a Lake Aladdin there as well, so this is a whole lake. You can fish here. They've got sea turtles and stuff. Now, the fishing is catch and release. You're not going to be able to take any of this home, or you shouldn't take any of this home. And then it's also got 2 different tennis courts and a clubhouse.
I don't know that I would want to take any fish home from something named after, you know, a movie where there's a magic carpet. Like, I just don't know what I would turn into if I ate like a magical fish.
What?
So one of the greatest pros I feel like over at Gulf Terrace, you know, besides being able to short-term rent it out, is that there is parking available for your boats and boat trailers. So if you've got a boat that you want to bring down with you, maybe this is going to be a secondary home or an investment property, then it's very convenient if you have a boat and you want to bring that with you, but don't want to leave it here all the time. So that's great. But then one of the sort of pros and cons is the laundry situation. A lot of these units aren't going to have a laundry within the unit. So you're going to have to convert a closet into a stackable washer and dryer or use the on-site facilities. Now, some of these units will already have them because folks will be like, I need this amenity for myself, or even because they rent better a lot of times because you don't want your cleaning people having to traverse, you know, however far to get to a laundry facility. So some of them already have them built in, but a lot of them do not. So it's just something good to keep in mind if you start looking at these properties. If you're interested in one of these units and you want to know if they have it or not, and you're not seeing it on the, you know, whatever site that you're using, Zillow, Realtor, one of our sites, whichever, go ahead and give us a call. All of our contact information is on the screen and we will let you know.
It's my magic fingers.
Spirit fingers.
And the HOA fees here are approximately $475 per month. Now that's going to cover just about everything except for your electric.
All right, enough about Gulf Terrace. I think we've kind of exhausted that. We love it. But moving on to something that we love the most, I'm going to let you take it, Mongo.
All right, Kelly Plantation. If you guys have made it this far, I'd like to start with saying go ahead and hit that like button for us because obviously you've gotten some value out of it if you made it this far. Now, Kelly Plantation, probably my favorite neighborhood in all of Destin. This area is huge. And of course, it wouldn't be my favorite without a great golf course, an 18-hole championship golf course that has won more awards than I could probably count. In fact, one of their holes is directly right across the bay. It is beautiful. And if you play there and you're not very good, you're going to lose a lot of balls in this area, okay? Especially if you hook it a little bit.
A lot like Regatta Bay, we're going to see some pretty big changes between the price points, all the way down to about $800,000 for a house to maybe $3.5 million for a different kind of house, and all for the same reasons.
And it can definitely go a lot higher than that. I've seen it go all the way up to probably about 10 to 12 million here in Kelly Plantation. There just wasn't any data for that for the last year.
It's because everyone wants to keep those houses.
Yeah, no kidding.
I would want to keep it too.
They're beautiful.
Okay, let's talk about the amenities. And I'm going to put a Mongo here because there were so many. And I know you love talking about the golfing portion, but I don't know anything about golfing except that there's like a green part and a white part, and sometimes there's water. And there are alligators in there. So don't play next to the water. Don't let the little kids play next to the water. Okay, so there is a 2,000 square foot owner's clubhouse with restrooms, a covered deck and grilling area, 75,000 gallon pool with a sun deck, and a playground for the kids, a fitness center with yoga room. Restrooms again. Restrooms are apparently very, very important.
So I put it in there for you.
Twice. There's an ice machine, 5 clay tennis courts, 1 hard surface tennis court, shaded benches, a water bottle refill station. Talk about convenient. 4 pickleball courts. I see these everywhere now. These were never a thing when I was growing
pickleball
up.
has been getting wild around here. It is everywhere. Every tennis court that you can find, they're turning into a pickleball court as well.
And there are all kinds of like tournaments and stuff happening all the time. I've got a friend that drives in very frequently from Huntsville, Alabama, just to play in these tournaments. Like, It's big. But wait, there's more. There's a basketball court, softball court, volleyball, a dog park, and nature trail, and of course, golf.
And on the 10th tee at Kelly Plantation, you can actually get chilled apples, which I know seems really minor, but it's kind of a cool little thing that they do. And of course, if you're looking for a bite to eat mid-game or after the game, you've got the grill at Kelly Plantation. So they've got Friday happy hour, Sunday brunch. The food is great. And of course, if you're looking for a venue for like a wedding or an event or something, it does accommodate for up to about 500 people.
That's a big wedding.
Yeah.
Just to give you guys a kind of idea about where Kelly Plantation is, we talked about Regatta Bay earlier and how it's on the east side of Mid-Bay Bridge. Kelly Plantation is just mirroring it on the opposite side, so still north of 98 and just west of the Mid-Bay Bridge. Now, this is another situation where you are not going to be able to short-term rent out these properties. So just like Regatta Bay, everything is very pristine, everything is very well kept up, and they don't want, tons of through traffic and what have you. So no short-term renting these out.
Oh, and we forgot about one of the coolest amenities in all of Kelly Plantation, and probably the only one in Destin that I'm aware of. They actually have horse stables right here on site.
Yeah, kind of amazing. It's like Southern Cross equestrian stables, I think, and they are just wonderful. Anytime you can incorporate a horse into something, it's like... HOA fees are going to start at about $720 per quarter. Obviously, this is another one of those properties that can range, from a lower amount to a higher amount. So we're just going to kind of say that we're starting out at about $720 per quarter, and that's going to give you access to most things, and it's going to help with keeping up and maintaining the premises. Want to tell them about our bonus?
Oh, One Water Place. Kelly Plantation has this whole section with 3 very large condo complexes overlooking the bay. So it's right off that waterfront hole that I was talking about before. Beautiful views across, anywhere that you're at. 3 different buildings, and they have just about everything you need. I mean, I'm talking they have a movie theater, cigar lounge, a place to put your wine, extra storage, a garden that you can actually have your own little section. You've got multiple more pools than I can even count. You've got hot tubs, all of this stuff, and it's all encapsulated inside of its own little area inside of Kelly Plantation that is separate than Kelly Plantation itself. The owners of One Water Place can actually use the amenities on everywhere in Kelly Plantation, but the Kelly Plantation owners cannot actually use the stuff at One Water Place. What they've tried to create here is an overall encompassing condo complex community where you get to know everybody a little bit better. I miss some of the amenities. It's got fitness centers, and it just keeps going on and on and on. Fitness centers, little putting green, underground parking, not just for your cars, but also for your golf carts.
If you have any questions about any of the neighborhoods that we just talked to you about, or maybe you found a smaller one and you're curious why it didn't make the list, or you just want some additional information on that one, all of our contact information is on the screen. Go ahead and get in touch with us however you prefer to do that. We absolutely love talking to you guys. When you guys call, you're going to get either one of us or someone on the team, and all of us will be absolutely stoked to help you find your next place. All right. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and ding the bell so that you get notified every time we do another video, and we will see you at the next one.
See you guys.
Bye, y'all.
Go back. That was me rewinding, in case you didn't know.
Good.
A few moments later.
As well as Golf Digest, one of the top courses for golf
Digest top golf courses.
as well as Golf Digest. Christ.
Meanwhile,
It is also one of Golf Digest's